Welcome back, everybody, to the Hit or Miss Star Trek podcast. We are doing something a little bit different for the next few episodes. If you are a regular follower or listener of the podcast, you will know that we've started branching out from just our episode reviews. We've done a few interviews and things. We will be coming back to some episode reviews, but we wanted to do something a little bit different, so we've started doing this game show, basically, with prizes up for grabs, where we've invited a few Star Trek masterminds, shall we say, to answer questions on their specialist subjects. It is a collision of those two long-running franchises, Star Trek and the British show Mastermind. And I am joined once again by two more contestants who will introduce themselves when they're called up. If you are unfamiliar with the rules, they're pretty simple. I'll just go over them quickly. The contestants will have to answer questions in 2 rounds. The first round will be on a specialist subject which they had previously chosen from anywhere within the Star Trek realm. The second round will be general knowledge questions, just any kind of Star Trek anywhere. The contestants will have 1.5 minutes for the first round, for the second, and they can pass as many times as they like. The passes will only come into consideration if there's a tiebreak, in which case the player with the fewest number of passes will win. Yeah, I think that's just about all we need. Just to quickly clarify some things as well, though, we were supposed to have more contestants with us today. Unfortunately, we did have a couple of dropouts. This was we tried to aim for at least 3 people per episode, but unfortunately, it just didn't happen today. I won't name and shame anybody, but I will say there will be good reasons why we've had to drop down to just 2. But that's okay. We can do a one-on-one, head-to-head match between contestants 1 and 2 here. I'd spun a wheel to see who would go first. So, contestant number 1, if you'd like to step up to the big virtual chair, and we'll get going.
Hello.
What's your official handle then, and what are you? Where are you contacting us from today?
I'm obviously DK, and I am in Barcelona.
Barcelona. There's a slight bit of interference on the line, but we're going to persist because we've had nothing but technical issues. So that's fair enough. And so this will be the first round, which is your specialist subject. So could you just tell us what your specialist subject was that you chose?
It's the Star Trek movies numbers 1 to 6.
That's right, just movies 1 to 6, the original series movies. So you are answering questions on the original series movies, everything from the motion picture to the undiscovered country. You will have 1.5 minutes. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Great, your time starts now. In which movie was it claimed that Klingons have no tear ducts?
Undiscovered Country, Star Trek 6.
Correct. What is Admiral Kirk's response when Gillian Taylor asks if he's from outer space?
No, I'm from Iowa. I'm working out space.
Correct. Michael Dorn plays what character in Star Trek 6?
Chancellor Worf.
Yeah.
No, Governor Worf, sorry.
It's Colonel. I'll let you off, Worf. Question 4. Paul Winfield portrays what ill-fated character in The Wrath of Khan?
Captain Tyrrell.
Do you know the first name?
Peter?
No, it's Captain Clark Tyrrell, sorry, I can't give you that. In which movie does the Enterprise A first appear?
Star Trek 4. The Voyage Home.
Correct. Right. What's the name of the song being loudly enjoyed by the punk on the bus in Star Trek 4?
Pass.
That's that one, okay. In Star Trek 2, Kirk tells Savick that he doesn't believe in what?
A no-win scenario.
Correct. In Star Trek 4, who played the punk on the bus?
Kirk Thatcher.
Correct. Who plays Spock's protege Valeris in Star Trek 6?
Cattrall.
Correct. Who composed the score to Star Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan? Sorry.
James Horner.
Yeah, that's correct. To what year does the Enterprise crew travel in Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home? Start it so I'll finish. We can get your answer on that.
1987.
It's 1986.
Oh!
So yeah, DK, that was a really good performance at the end of that round. You have scored 8 points with 1 pass. So very impressive. That pass, the name of the song being loudly played by the punk is I Hate You, which I only remember now because I love the fact that when he returns in Picard listening to a song called I Still Hate You, which I think is pretty amusing. So yeah, pretty good score. So if you'd like to take your seat back in the communal area, and I will call up contestant number 2 to the big chair.
Okay.
So, contestant number 2, welcome. What is your name and where are you contacting us from?
Hello, I'm Jeff Akin. I am in Portland, Oregon, and I'm representing the Starfleet Leadership Academy today. DK, you set the bar pretty high. I'm not going to lie.
Excellent. I will ask you about that before round 2, a bit about your podcast and such. But in the meantime, could you just tell us what was your specialist subject that you chose for today?
Well, I picked a really narrow one that's very specific and Deep Space Nine. Mostly Deep Space Nine episodes. Yeah.
So yeah, don't worry, I've got all the questions ready here. But yes, you'll be answering questions on series Deep Space Nine. So just 100 odd episodes and 70 instead of it.
Yeah, just right here, tip of the tongue, super easy.
That's great. So you will have a minute and a half. And are you ready?
Ready.
Great. Your time starts now. In what DS9 episode do we learn that Risa in its natural state is nothing more than a rain-soaked, geologically unstable jungle?
Let he who is without sin.
I was looking for Parmac in all the wrong places. Sorry. What name does Gul Dukat use when masquerading as a Bajoran farmer during the final season?
Pass.
Okay. What are Jadzia Dax's final words just prior to her death?
Oh, wow. Pass.
Okay. The Intrepid-class starship USS Bellerophon appeared in which hood?
That was with Sloan, right? And it was... Oh my gosh, these are fantastic questions. I'm going to pass.
Pass, okay. The name of what species or group is the title of the season 2 finale?
That's going to be, I know this one. That's going to be, that's Jem'Hadar.
It is the Jem'Hadar, correct. The name Odo comes from the Bajoran phrase Odo Etal, which roughly means what?
Oh, wow, pass.
Pass, okay.
This is a long 90 seconds, not going to lie.
How was Alexander Siddig originally credited?
Siddig al-Fadil.
Correct. What are the names of the O'Briens' 2 children?
Molly and Yoshi.
Molly and Yoshi is correct, and the time it went, but I started so finish as the usual. So, yeah, sorry, I feel bad because I feel like I made really tough questions there, but
those were fantastic questions. You kept it fun, so it's great.
Yeah, I do apologize for the trickiness of them, but at the end of that round, you scored 3 points with 4 passes. So, it's not over yet.
Hey, all you need is 3, right? It's 1, 2, 3. That's all it takes sometimes. So.
The magic number, absolutely. Just to go over those passes then for any listeners who wanted to know or think that they might know them. The name Gul Dukat uses when masquerading as a Bajoran farmer is Anjol Tenon. Yes. Jadzia Dax's final words, which bring me to tears every time, were "Our baby would have been so beautiful." The USS Bellerophon, you knew the episode, but you couldn't quite get the title, and it's one of those annoying Latin titles. It was Inter Arma Enum Silent Legis, or In Times of War, the Laws Fall Silent. And the name Odo Etal in Bajoran roughly means nothing or unknown sample. So, there we go. If you'd like to take your seat back, in fact, don't, because normally we call for the second round up the player with the lowest score. So that would be you. So you'd be staying where you are. So we only have 2 contestants, and yeah. So you're feeling a bit more settled into what to expect now. Hopefully,
I am. I think my lesson learned is the next time I need to pick a more narrow category.
Well, clearly, yeah. Yes, indeed. But you mentioned at the start of round 1 there that you run a fantastic podcast, the Starfleet Academy Leadership Podcast. Is that right?
Yeah, the Starfleet Leadership Academy. I watch episodes of Star Trek. Oh yeah, and I also have a podcast. Ha ha ha. Yeah. But I watch an episode of Star Trek, and then I pull out leadership and management lessons. I've worked as an executive leader for over 20 years, and so I try to use Star Trek as a way to help train, coach, and inspire leaders.
That's awesome. I've been chatting since, because you guest starred on the actual podcast, proper reviewing an episode or 2 with us, and I've been checking it out ever since. And it's a great idea for a podcast, absolute genius. So I do encourage everyone to check it out. And
Thank you.
So just because I have to ask this question, given that it was your specialist subject, is Deep Space Nine your favorite of the Trek series then?
Absolutely. I think it represents everything that Star Trek is about. And it does it by it challenges Roddenberry's vision in a way that validates it. And I just think it's just so well done.
It's a very interesting way of putting it, actually. Yeah, absolutely. And I was watching a documentary. I don't know if you guys have seen The Center Seat, the documentary about Star Trek, where it said that DS9 was never popular until streaming, and then you could watch it all at once and people saw the big picture. And I was like, yeah, I guess in a way I can see that, but I was one of those idiots that stuck with it for the 7 years, one episode at a time. So, yeah, fair enough. Right, well, so you know the rules of this round. Then you have a little bit longer. You'll have 2 minutes, but the questions are all just general knowledge, so they can be anything in the Trek universe. So again, if DS9 was too broad, yikes.
Right, yeah, welcome to this.
Indeed. Remember, you can always pass if there's anything that you don't know. As I say, we can always move to the next question. Jeff, are you ready for your round?
Let's do this.
Let's go. Your time will start now. What's the full first name of Lower Decks' engineer, Ensign Rutherford?
Pass.
Okay. How many times does future Next Generation star Diana Muldaur guest star in the original series?
Twice.
Correct. What's the name of Nurse Chapel's fiancé whom she joined Starfleet to find?
Oh my gosh, I literally watched this 2 weeks ago. I have to pass. Oh my gosh.
Pass. Okay. Where was Annika Hansen, aka 7 of 9, born?
I'm going to pass.
Pass. Okay. What was young Annika Hansen's favorite color?
A pass.
Okay, not a Voyager fan. What was the first Star Trek episode to ever air on American television?
The Man Trap.
That's correct. What class of starship is the Enterprise C?
Ambassador.
Correct. What organization of renegade freedom fighters does 7 of 9 join after Voyager's return to the Alpha Quadrant?
Fenris Rangers.
That's correct. Who was the inventor of Earth's first transporter?
That was in an Enterprise. I'm going to pass.
Pass, okay. What first name is shared by B'Elanna Torres' mother and daughter?
You nailed me on the Voyager thing. I'm going to pass.
Pass. I promise I'm not picking these things just out one way they fell. In the Next Generation episode Cupid, character exclaims, "Sir, I must protest. I am not Mary Man."
Worf.
That's correct. What dangerous molecule do the Borg regard as the epitome of perfection?
The Omega particle?
Correct. In Vissian biology, how is a third gender referred to?
Pass.
Pass. Okay.
Oh, look at that.
There's the timer. We didn't get a chance to ask anything else. So, yeah. At the end of that round, then, Jeff, you scored 6 points with
that, doubling
7
up.
passes. Yeah, DK will have to score 1 point to 2 points to win. But hopefully, we've had a good time, and hopefully I didn't make the questions too difficult. I think, yeah, I maybe should have warned in advance to watch more Voyager, it looks like.
Right.
But, yeah, just to quickly go over the passes then for anybody who might be curious. Lower Decks' Ensign Rutherford, his full name is Samanthan Rutherford. Nurse Chapel's fiancé, you're going to kick yourself if you just watched this, it was Roger Corby.
Yes, oh my gosh.
Annika Hansen was born on Tandara Colony, and according to herself at the end of the gift, her favourite colour as a child was red. The inventor of Earth's first transporter from the Enterprise episode Daedalus was Emery Erickson. B'Elanna's mother and daughter are both called Miral, and I think that was it.
Third gender.
Oh yeah, in Vissian biology, a third gender is referred to as a cogenitor.
Cogenitor, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so as you say, final score for you was 9 points, but yes. I mean, you never know. So if you'd like to grab your seat back, and DK, if you'd like to step back up, and we'll get you going on your second round here.
Okay. Judging from the questions that have just gone in Jeff's round, I think he's in with a very good chance.
Were you trying to answer along with them, were you?
Oh, yes.
Fair enough. And yeah, I know we run the podcast together, and I know pretty much a lot about you, but I'm guessing, as I said, given your subject, that you're very into the original series movies then, obviously.
I am, yes. Everything else, my memory is very unreliable.
So how many of the original 6 did you see in cinemas then? That's the question.
I've actually seen them all in cinemas. Not on release, but I managed to go back when Generations was released. They did a special at the local cinema where they showed the first 6 prior to screening Generations. Oh,
wow, that's awesome. See, I've only seen everything from Insurrection onwards, because I'm younger than you see, so I just wanted to remind you. So, yeah, well, you know the score, as I said, I mentioned to Jeff already. You have a score of 8 points. His final score was 9, so a score of 1 will lead to a tie. A score of 2 will win it for you. But we'll keep going till the end of the round because, people might be playing along, and why not? We're going to suddenly stop it in the middle of it. So, and we never know what might happen. We shouldn't assume anything. So, let's say 2 minutes, general knowledge from throughout the Star Trek universe. DK, are you ready?
Go for it.
Okay, your time will start now. Which species kidnaps Riker and Troy in Menage a Troy?
Ferengi?
Ferengi is correct. In which episode does Jeffrey Combs play Krem, a Ferengi pirate?
Yes.
You passed that one, yeah? Okay. Which holographic character helps out Captain Janeway in the episode concerning flight?
Leonardo da Vinci.
That's correct. In which episode do we see Tasha Yar killed?
Stevie.
That's correct. When travelling back to 2004, Archer and T'Pol discover Xindi technology on what street?
Pass.
Is that a pass, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What does Will Riker's transporter duplicate eventually call himself?
Thomas.
That's correct. In which episode does Kess return to enact revenge on Voyager?
Pass.
Pass that one, okay. Introduced in Next Generation, what is informally known as the Pleasure Planet?
Riker.
That's correct. What was the first episode directed by Sir Patrick Stewart?
Pass.
Okay. The term Class M planet comes from a Vulcan word. What is that word?
Minchara.
Minchara is correct. Somebody watched Enterprise. In which episode Doctor create a holographic family?
Oh, what's this? Pass.
Pass. There's a lot of Voyager questions, you're right. What was the name for the race of proto-Vulcans that appears in the Next Gen episode Who Watches the Watchers?
Pass.
Okay. What's the name of Issa Briones' character in Season 2 of Star Trek Picard?
Oh. Pass.
That's all finished. We can still have the answer. You're passing that one, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just get that timer. So, DK, at the end of that round, you scored 6 points with 7 passes. So that with a 14-point score to 9, that does make you today's winner. So
well done.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm not surprised at anyone.
Just before I do anything else, then I'll go over those 7 passes, because again, you never know who's listening and taking part. So, question, in which episode does Jeffrey Combs play Krem? That was the Enterprise episode Acquisition. The street on which Archer and T'Pol discover Xindi technology is Carpenter Street. It's an homage to John Carpenter, if anybody didn't know that, which I always found to be quite neat. In what episode does Kess return? It's called Fury. The first episode directed by Patrick Stewart was the Next Gen episode In Theory. The episode where the Doctor creates a holographic family was called Real Life. And the race of proto-Vulcans that appears in Who Watches the Watchers was Mintakans. And finally, again, you're going to kick yourself. Briones' character in Picard Season 2, which I know you've only just watched, he was called Corey Soon. So yeah, at the end of that, as I said, DK, how do you feel? You ended up winning that one, and you'll go through to the final.
Extremely construct.
Jeff, were those questions any easier for you? Do you think you could have answered that particular group any better, or not?
Well, of course, I got to sit in the easy chair and just casually answer. It's very different for everyone listening. It's very different sitting in the hot seat and listening along. I'm just like, of course that's Acquisition. Of course they're Mintakans. Of course.
Yes, it's easy once you hear the answer.
Right, but those are great questions. Very challenging. I think this was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking part and coming to join us. So, hopefully we can have you back on the podcast again sometime soon. And in the meantime, as I say, I would recommend everybody to check out the Starfleet Leadership Academy Podcast. I will get the name right. So, thanks again. And DK, will you be okay to join us for the grand final on Saturday this week?
It should be okay, yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's good then. I will have to get a new specialist subject from you because you're not allowed to use the same one in the final.
God damn.
Pick one episode.
Yeah. The narrower the category, the harder the question should be in theory, but I'm not sure it works out that way. So, yeah, thanks a lot for joining us on, and have a great time. Long and prosper and all that, and we'll be back with our next episode soon. Take care. Goodbye.